I wanted to begin this with really the demeanor of Stephen Wright. He's one of my favorite comedians. Really, straight-laced guy, doesn't crack a smile, almost deadpan, monotone. But I'm of the firm belief that monotone speakers really it's a nice form of minimalism, and they just present things as they should be. And it's the audience's responsibility to pick up on the genius of the speaker and become interested in the topic.
This is a tad narcissistic.
Yet there is some truth. There is some truth in it. The funny thing is, as it relates to a possible presentation in Austin next spring, is that I don't know exactly what the presentation or the session will be, because we haven't yet gone over what we're going to present. In general, what I want to talk about in my session, along with Owen Guthrie and Jennifer Moss, is gaming mechanics, pedagogy and practice of those two things in 2 or 3 courses that are going to be taught this fall and also in the spring at the University of Alaska Fairbanks eLearning and Distance Education. And what we're going to look at is the mechanics of how we've inserted counting mechanisms and interactive agents that will play back and forth with the students that are enrolled in the online class. And so we're going to cover, like, if folks are interested in how they would go about doing this in their class, mechanically how they insert it into a WordPress blog site and make it work. But we're also going to cover the pedagogical underpinnings of why this makes sense, why you'd go ahead and do it. I mean, let's say you're running a class, so you put up a high score list. I mean, is that going to help students learn or retain information? We'd like to think so, because it's fun and exciting. But we'll cover some of the theory behind it and go into that. But there's a couple courses that this is going to take place in. One is a management class that deals with natural disasters. So we're going to be talking about volcanoes and earthquakes and tsunamis, and if we can throw in robot monster attacks and locusts, we'll get them in there somehow. We're also talking about a management journalism class where students are climbing the steps from the beginnings of, like, the mailroom, and they're going to climb the corporate ladder all the way up to editor-publisher, and maybe those secret guys in the control room behind the actual board that really control the company. And so the students work their way up by performing tasks and so forth with some gaming mechanics. And we're already working with faculty, and having the courses run in the fall, we'll be able to talk about what went wrong, what went right, what we might change up, and then we can point to the classes themselves and hopefully have time for some questions and comments from the crowd as well.
That sounds like an excuse to talk about games.
I love excuses to talk about games every time. I mean, life is a game, really. Life is a game.
That was if Shakespeare were a 20th century, 21st century poet, as opposed to a 16th. All the world is a stage, rather than that.
All the world is a map. It's a level where you proceed through, you level up, you gain experience, you figure out the best optimal way to approach a problem. And I mean, that's the way I love experience in a game like that. There's also the explorers that go through and pick up bits and pieces, and then the people that play for social reasons. But
there's the leaderboard.
It's really all about the high score list that I mentioned previously. I mean,
that's your own personal preference.
Well, all of this has to go back to, from the institution's point of view, enrollment and accountability. But how does the institution achieve these things? We achieve it through measured metrics, student peer-to-peer interaction, the substance of work conducted in the public, and testing results at the end. Some courses have different assessment measures, but there are some firm numbers we'll be able to point to at the end of these courses. And so that, if you want to call that a high score list, then fine. We'll go to the arena with you if you want to do that. I would just love to share with the folks at South by Southwest what we've learned. And we all know that gaming is a powerful motivational force, however you approach games. But we'll want to share what we've learned and what we already know with the folks in Austin.
There we go. All right, it sees your face. It's gonna follow it around and shit. Just don't mind.
Okay. Should I look right at it?
I mean, that's up to you, man.
Right. It's totally up to me.
I mean, like if you're gonna talk to me and we're gonna have a conversation, then maybe that's on some level that's rude.
To not look at you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, like you don't want to be too fucking long.
No.
I wonder if there's. Fuck. I threw out my bag yesterday, and it sucks. I've never done that before.
Oh, yeah. How did you do it?
Rolled over a bit.
So where on your back does it hurt?